Hello guys, vipi. Really sorry I was not able to go live from 3. Nilikuwa na some itch 1 to 3 zikaleta noma. I'm doing okay. StreamYard pia inaniangushaga sometimes. Vile nilikuwa nimeschedule kwenda on air through nini StreamYard na through my laptop, but now it is not sending the camera and the mic. So I've tried, I've contacted them. They have said that they'll get back to me. So bado nangoja. So I won't be able to actually do what I wanted to do. But maybe these are hiccups that they do occur wakati wanataka kufanya kitu. Those are some challenges that they come through, but mambo yenye lazima upitie tu when you are doing something, but all in all things are good. So what I basically wanted to do was to talk about the EPL matches yesterday, and those who follow up on the fantasy football. I know many do not do that, but for those few who do it, wale wanapenda kucheza fantasy football, they know what I'm talking about. So yesterday, I'm an Arsenal fan. Things did not go well. Tulipigwa moja mtungi, moja machozi, but the game was good. The boys are good. Our new signing Thomas Partey was given like 5 minutes of jogging. That was just like a jog for him because he really did not participate in the game, as many Arsenal fans were expecting. But there were so many positivities to take on this, bearing in mind that for a few years now tumekuwa tukisuffer more on the so-called the big teams. These are the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham. We have been suffering a massive beating from those teams, but now you can see we are narrowing down, and maybe in a few months to come we shall catch up with them. So our game ended at Etihad Stadium 1-0, and it was disappointing, but uh, we live to fight for another day. So I was to be joined by some people, but now because of the mechanical problems or technical problems hatutaweza kukuwa joined now, but we hope in the future or maybe next weekend takuwa now. Another one was another game, the first game actually. It was the informed team of the season, Everton, playing against Liverpool. Actually, there were some talking points in this game. One of it being to the incident that happened that led to the Liverpool man Virgil van Dijk getting an injury that will cost him for the rest of the season. He won't be able to play for the next 8 months. So this injury was caused in a game that the goalkeeper wa Everton alimkanyaga, and that led to the injury. And after the game, the doctors said that it was a very massive injury that will cost him for the rest of the season. Now, we don't know what actually will happen because this guy has been, if not the real thing at the defense there, yeye ndo amekuwa mwamba pale kwa defense ya Liverpool. So we have to see, will Liverpool actually make it without Virgil van Dijk hapo kwa defense, because this guy amekuwa pale. Remember the season before last season, the previous season, he was the best player of the season because he was very important on that defense. So he will be probably replaced by Gomez, who started on the bench for that game. So Liverpool itatoboa kweli without Virgil van Dijk is what we want to see. So that was the major thing on that game, and the VAR, of course, it was another issue on the game because if actually VAR was checked well, the goalkeeper will be at fault na angeweza kupata red card na Liverpool wangekuwa awarded a penalty in that game. Then another thing on VAR also, at the end of that game, Liverpool scored a goal with Mane being charged offside. But when you look at the VAR, actually, Mane was not offside. So very critical point there. And VAR is actually, instead of making the decisions even better, it has some question marks on the person who is behind the VAR. But actually, it is a collective responsibility because we cannot only be blaming the referee, the man behind the VAR, and the center referee is also allowed to go and check the VAR for himself. So hatuelewi actually what happened, or ila kitu watu wanashangaa ni kwa nini the referees are making wrong decisions even after being assisted by the video. So that was another one. And a third game was about Chelsea, and Chelsea was playing against Southampton. And again, now it has been noted that Timo Werner, whenever he scores, uh, all the games that Timo Werner has scored during this season, they have, or recently, they have ended in a draw. So both nationally and club level. So Timo Werner scored his first and second goals yesterday after 5 days, 5 matches, and also Kai Havertz also scored the third goal. Now the game was massive, where the Blues should have taken all the 3 points, but some few blunders made Southampton to snatch a draw from the game with their Matthew Man, Danny Ings on the score sheet, and the last goal ikifungwa na some guy, a Netherland guy. So another 2 points rather, Lampard zinamponyoka hivyo. Remember, these are some small teams that at least to be top there with the big boys, uh, you need to win. With actually some small teams like Everton coming up very strongly. Remember that Everton is now still unbeaten. The only team that is unbeaten in the league now is Everton. On five after 5 games, they're still unbeaten. So teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, they have to pull up their socks because if they have to finish in the top four, then they'll have to pull up their socks. With the likes of Leicester playing very well, we have Wolves who have done a very good job in the transfer market, and we also have teams like rather Crystal Palace. They are playing really well. And we have some also small teams like Leeds who have been promoted and they're playing really, really well. So Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United, they have really to work so hard. So the last game was Manchester United wakicheza dhidi ya Newcastle, and Manchester United had to dig deep despite being given their favorite penalty with Bruno Fernandes for the first time akipoteza penalty. So, but actually they had to push it until late in the late minutes from 86th minute. They started playing really well and they got the 4 goals, rather the 3 goals, to make it 4-1 with Bruno Fernandes on the score sheet, making amends after not scoring the penalty. And Marcus Rashford with 2 assists and a goal on his name, scoring the 4th goal. It was a really nice goal, and also doing really good for the Bruno's goal. Uh, we had Maguire also making a name for himself after disappointing last week, match day 4, and a disappointing international break where he was red carded on his England mission. He came back and scored the equalizer for Manchester United. And we also had another defender who had not scored in 45 games. That is Wan Bissaka scoring on that particular game. So you see a lot of positives to take from Manchester there. So another, I would like also to talk about Everton with James Rodriguez really playing really well and making Everton looking like a great team. It is really good to see a team like Everton playing like that, and actually James Rodriguez, or some call him James, he has really improved that team with the likes of Calvert-Lewin now having the supplies and scoring, and Calvert-Lewin has now made a history for scoring on 5 consecutive games for Everton. That's really good. He's doing good. We saw he also scored on his international call-up, scored his a goal there. So it is really good to see Everton under Carlo Ancelotti playing on that level. And now another thing. Now I want to talk about the fantasy football for those who like it. Most of us are not doing the fantasy, but kwa wale wanafanya fantasy football is where at the beginning of the season, for those who don't know, you select teams. You select teams of at least 14 players, 15 players. So with 3 substitutes, outfield players, and 1 goalkeeper, also substitute, and your first 11. Now you pick 3 teams, at most 3 players from all the 20 from the club. So we take 15 players, at most 3 players from a team. That is the maximum, not at least, but a maximum. So for those of us who play the fantasy, things stand well for those who captained and had faith for or in Timo Wana, who scored at least 28 points for those who had captained him. So, for those of us who had faith in people like Aubameyang, those who suffered from De Bruyne not playing, those who suffered from Kun Aguero not scoring. So things worked well, at least for some people for this game week, especially as far as yesterday is concerned. Unlike the previous week, what walipata points on Jugu. So we hope that this, as the game week 5 continues, I know there's a match playing right now uh, for West Bromwich. We hope things will get better and better. With that, I come to the end of this particular show. I promise that next week I'll have some guest speakers. People will have to analyze the games. I have people who were to come live, but because of the technical issues, I had to go live alone. Next time, I do promise that we shall have people coming in. So we are for the upcoming matches. We have Leicester playing. We have Aston Villa also playing. We have Tottenham also playing. So we hope for the best. My captain on fantasy is Son. I hope he scores one or two or three goals so that I can catch up with the guys uh, who captained Timo Werner, no, and Marcus Rashford. Those are guys who got really, really good points out of the game. Goodbye.